Hello and welcome back to Cars of Glasgow. I'm Thomas and today you join me with the 2024 McLaren 750s, so stay tuned for this video. So I'm going to give you a walk around of this fantastic McLaren 750s. Now the one behind me today is spec'd for just over £267,000. Now this sits just above the Artura, so it is a V8 powered non-hybridised rear-wheel drive supercar, 0 to 60 in about 2.5 seconds. So come with me to have a quick look at the vehicle. Now the front end of this is kind of like a heavy facelift of the 720s. So what that means is we've got the really slim headlights inside here with the kind of hovering indicator. This is, you're able to put your hand in because it is a vent behind there, and that air goes right through up the door into the rear engine. We do have these little vents again up front where the front boot is. It is pretty big, and I've put some overlays of that when we're looking inside. As you can see, we've got the famous McLaren doors today going up, which is just an iconic McLaren touch. And if you're not sure what McLaren you're looking at, you can look at the sides. It does say 750S on the side here. Now we do have these Pirelli rimmed alloy wheels in the two-tone, the kind of rotating design, and we've got a red brake caliper. They are 19-inch wheels, which is not too bad a size, I guess, for a supercar, and it's not one of these 2024 24-inch wheels. Now you may be aware that McLaren uses their carbon tubs as a basis for most of their performance range, and this car is no different, so you're able to see the exposed carbon up here. Now one of the cool features on this 750S is the fact that it's got the tonneau cover, and you're able to raise and lower it. When you lift up the door, there's two switches here, and that means you can raise and put some storage in there if the roof is up. Just be careful if you've got something in there when you're putting the roof down so you don't smash the glass. So one interesting kind of design element, I guess, is with the air vents going through the door. When you lift the doors up, sometimes you get some stones shoving down the bottom. Interesting thing, but we do have this little radiator here that is nice and warm and toasted to touch. And then we've got the little reflector on the back bumper. Now, one of the differences again with the 750 over the 720 is this spoiler is around 30% larger than what you've seen on the outgoing 720S. Now, also if you're behind one of these, the taillight design is similar, but what you're going to notice is we've got a central exhaust instead of two exhausts like you've seen in the 720. Out with that, there's not too much else to talk about back here. It's very McLaren. A lot of it's exposed. So what's quite interesting is during the experience with the McLaren, we do have little stones that are gathering down below in here, so they must be getting kicked up and they're gathering at the bottom down here. So that is a little bit, you're going to have to get your hoover out and clean that out. But this car does have parking sensors and cameras all round, so we're going to give it the caveat there for technology. And all this, as you can see, is kind of like a hollowed out material, so it is lightweight and exposed, a little bit like the Volkswagen VX220. So you join me inside the cabin of the 750S. Now you're going to see this little plaque just to remind you the car's made in Surrey, England down here. On the right hand side of the steering wheel we do have your front release, we've got your door lock, and then we've got a little nose lifter there which takes, I believe, 4 seconds to lift the car up if you're going over a speed bump. It does go down again if you're going over 30 miles per hour, so make sure you're keeping your speed down. You may notice on the steering wheel of the McLaren we do not have any buttons, so McLaren have purposely designed this vehicle to be kind of driver focused, and there's a lack of buttons on the steering wheel. Unlike maybe some other brands that have all the buttons on the steering wheel, McLaren are giving you some buttons in the centre here. Now what is interesting is you've got a drive, neutral and reverse, but there's no individual parking button to descend. So what you do is you push it into neutral and then you engage the parking brake, and that's how the car will be stopped and then park. It does also have automatic start-stop defeat down the middle there, so in a car like this you might just not want the car turning on and off. We're going to put the foot in the brake and push the start button to start the car up. That V8 is going to rumble into life. Voiceover Thomas here. So on the McLaren interior we do have the new infotainment screen versus the outgoing 720S. Now the screen is pretty fast and responsive, and it does feature wired Apple CarPlay. We do have 3 buttons on the side, an arrow button at the top, an avocado button in the middle that can be used as a favourite, and then the launch control button at the bottom, which is ideal for the track. Now, to the left of the steering wheel, we do have the indicator switch, which even has a McLaren logo silhouette on this arm stock. On top of the instrument screen, there is a pod that allows you to toggle between drive modes. When you toggle the car into track mode, the fuel gauge changes from miles to percentage. For example, 151 miles of range changes to 53%, of fuel left in the tank. Now, unfortunately, there is no glove box in this car, so it does not pass the Cars of Glasgow test. This 750S is optioned with these rather particular figure-hugging sports seats, which are lined with leather and Alcantara. These seats aren't the most comfortable as there isn't much padding. However, we do have red seatbelts fitted to this car. In the centre, we do have one cup holder and storage in the centre armrest, which is ideal size for your corn. Now, we do have a USB-A and USB charge ports in here as well, and behind the seats there's not much room, however there is netting, so you can store your miniature McLaren. This car is also fitted with the electrochromic roof option, which means at a touch of a button you can change the transparency of the glass. The 750S Spider also features this retractable hardtop which can be opened or closed in 11 seconds at up to speeds of 31 miles per hour. Out on the road, the 750S feels stable. Those rear wheels are far apart, it handles tremendously well, and it promotes precision steering and gives you confidence. Now, the car is so quick, a short tap of the accelerator pushes you back into your seat. Now, this car gets a lot of attention, particularly with the younger kids running along the pavement, taking photographs and shouting McLaren! So it's definitely one not for the faint-hearted if you're shy from public attention. So thank you very much for watching this video on the McLaren 750S. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel below, and I will see you next video. Ciao.